What now?
V. Do this job for me. I mean me alone. No splitting the payout with anyone else. No middlemen. No Dex.
Evelyn Parker is an ambitious individual with goals set high up on the horizon of achieving something more out of life in Night City. She is also Judy Alvarez's best friend and someone we come across in the tutorial early missions of Cyberpunk 2077.
Evelyn Parker's intelligence and ambition drives her to demand way more from life. Her goal of becoming a professional actress and her rational head for the biz led her from the Moxes to a job at the dollhouse Clouds. But this stepping stone in her career quickly became something much more permanent. It was in her days with the Moxes where she met and befriended Judy Alvarez.
In 2077, Evelyn was a frequent guest of Yorinobu Arasaka at Konpeki Plaza. The Voodoo Boys learned of this and hired her to acquire a brain dance recording of Yorinobu's suite for a planned heist. Evelyn realized that the Voodoo Boys were after a biochip known as the Relic, which contained Johnny Silverhand's engram and was in Yorinobu's possession. So she decided to steal it for her own profit and contacted Netwatch, offering to give it to them in exchange for money, protection, and a new identity.
Evelyn eventually contracted the fixer Dexter Deshawn to plan and execute the heist of Konpeki Plaza. As a part of the team, Deshawn picked V and was introduced to her, playing an important role in researching the material from the BD with the help of her friend Judy, evaluating the dangers and negotiating the terms of the business contract. Due to knowing Deshawn's fixer history, Evelyn trusted V with an alternative offer, eliminating him entirely from the heist equation and gaining a bigger slice of the eventual resulting profit.
Once the events of the heist proved to cause more mess than gain, Evelyn laid low for several days at Lizzie's bar under the protection of the Moxes, but eventually decided to return to work at Clouds. There, while she was with a client connected to the net, the Voodoo Boys launched a powerful virus on her to try and silence Evelyn, since she not only worked behind their back, but knew too much of their plans. She managed to survive the attack, but her cyberware was damaged beyond basic function, rendering her comatose, yet aware of her surroundings. The caretaker of Clouds, Oswald Woodman Forrest, attempted to have her restored, and after no success, he raped her, taking advantage of her unconscious body. After no longer being able to provide what he was after, he decided to pawn her off to Ripperdoc Fingers for one last attempt to fix her cyberware. When Fingers failed, Woodman wrote Evelyn off and left her with the Ripperdoc as payment. Fingers eventually contacted his fixer, Wakako Okada, and sold Evelyn off to the scavengers to be used in a production of black market snuff BDs. Maelstrom recognized the potential of Evelyn's high-end doll and BD cyberware, and instead of killing her in a single BD, they kept her alive through multiple BDs, forcing her to endure unspeakable situations one after another.
Evelyn was eventually located by her friend Judy with the help of V in an abandoned power plant, but she remained in a comatose state. From there, she was taken to Judy's apartment to remain under her care. Her condition slowly improved, but unfortunately, resulting with her not being able to overcome the events which had previously transpired, led her into suicide. Prior to death, Judy managed to recover additional brain dance recordings from her memories, including the multiple rapes by Woodman, the brutal abuse that she suffered from the scavengers, as well as fragments of her dealings with the Voodoo Boys. Evelyn was eventually cremated and interred at the Columbarium. Her epitaph reads, "She died valiantly fighting the system."
So the database entry is, Evelyn is a beautiful enigma. At first glance, she's nothing but riddles and contradictions. While Evelyn looks like a high-ranking corpo, she arranges a meeting in some street gang dive bar. She seems to be a rich, wealthy woman, but she rounds up a ragtag bunch of rookie mercs to swipe something for her. Humorous and charming, yet she drives a hard bargain. Puts her faith in professionals, but still wants to pull all the strings. When it comes to Evelyn, only one thing is certain: tread carefully. Her beauty, cunning, and fierce determination are a volatile mix.
And with that, that's pretty much all we actually have on Evelyn Parker. There isn't really much trivia this time, or anything to do with her cyberware, as most of it is simply the doll implants for her very specific job.
Yeah, I guess the only real thing to mention is that she's obviously a real kind of cyberpunk genre style insert from her style all the way up to the way she carries herself. Like it's from that cyber noir like era. She really wouldn't be out of place in like Blade Runner, for example. Like she literally, to me, seems like a character pulled straight out of a Blade Runner.
Yeah, and she definitely does a good job in Cyberpunk 2077 of sort of pushing the story forwards. And then once her sort of role was up, no longer being, like a super important sort of feature in V's story. So definitely like a welcome addition.
Does anything happen from your choice, by the way, when she offers you the option of cutting out Dexter?
No, because obviously the mission always goes to shit, goes to the dogs. So,
and you have to get shot whatever you do, I guess.
Yeah, so absolutely nothing in that. Like even there's actually another option involved with Dexter where you can tell her that she tried to cut him out, and he'll give you a bigger cut. He'll give you like 40%, but obviously you're never going to get your cut anyways because the mission goes to shit. So,
yeah. Yeah, there you go. So that's Evelyn Parker.
Yep, and we'll see you guys next time for potentially some more lore videos. So stay tuned and we'll see you then.
Yorinobu recently swiped the chip from an Arasaka laboratory. He's made a deal with Netwatch. Aims to sell it to them. Have you spotted my ace yet, or do I need to spell things out?
Nope, don't buy it. Netwatch's integrity rests on their neutrality. Why would they tarnish their rep by procuring stolen goods?
Netwatch provides net security for all corporations, and collects eddies in the millions for it. But in this day and age, everyone's in the game, and no one can afford to be a saint. To win, one has to go all